Welcome to the Retay Roundtable Podcast, brought to you by Retay USA. I'm your host, Jesse. Hey, I'm trying to record a podcast over here.
So why switch to Retay?
Sounds like drill.
I tried to do a TikTok with Sara the other day.
Yeah?
Like by myself. I eventually told her, I was like, Sara, I cannot do this.
You're not a TikTok guy?
Oh, dude, I struggled.
Really?
I'm sitting there. She's like, just tap it. I'm tapping it. I'm like,
You did
what
really
does this do?
You did a good job prior to Rut Daniels.
Yes.
That was all those that were running around were pretty good.
Oh, yeah. It was fun.
Well, look, we're going to kick it off. This is the first time. This is the first, and by the way, this is David's first podcast. Okay,
It is.
So this is going to be a little bit of a trial and error for David.
It's going to be a big pendulum swing.
But this is the first time we've ever had anyone live in studio in the Retay Studios. Look at this thing, by the way. And I know if you're listening online, you can't see it. Go check it out on YouTube. But we have a boom. I mean, it is a neon that you can be changed. Oh, you want to strobe it? Hold on, let me see.
Please tell me you can.
Oh, you want to strobe?
Oh,
we can strobe. We can do anything you want to now. So,
oh my! Does it change colors?
It does not change colors.
Oh, so you gotta get that point.
But in studio this week on the round table, it's a little bit different of a look. We're going to get right to things. It's been a while. We've taken the summer. We were at buy group shows and everything else. Summer catches up. It's hard to keep. First off, we have a legend in the house, and David. We know you're a legend.
Yes.
Okay? In your own rights.
In my own rights, the old improvised.
The improvised legend, right? So David from Ollie's is here with us.
But more importantly,
if you've ever been on social media, if you've ever watched Drake's Migration Nation, if you've ever not lived under a rock.
Yeah, 100%.
And seen a decoy carved by hand in the world-renowned decoy trailer at this point. Sir. We have the one and only PITBOSS, Jeff Coates, with us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Captain.
The captain.
PITBOSS, Jeff Coates.
Jeff Coates. So, Jeff, how are you,
Thank you, guys. I'm doing well. Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Hey, anytime, man. This is actually going to be new for everybody. We're trying to figure this out. Hunter's running the camera. We do have another special guest, by the way.
Somebody's lurking behind the lights there somewhere.
And she's not going to want to do any of this, but at some point, we're going to get her on. Sara from Molly's is here as well.
Yes.
In studio.
The trooper.
The trooper. 100%.
And I've started to refer to her as that as Sara from Molly's.
Sara
just
from
like
Molly's.
David from Molly's.
Yeah, from Molly's. Right? And it's not hard because you guys have, first off, Molly's place, Kennedyville, Maryland. And David, go ahead and give your spiel here. You have the date, the time, the location, the dress down. So Molly's, tell us about Molly's.
So Molly's, we were established in 2010 before we were just a small store called Vonnie's. Mm-hmm. Family ran, operated. Unfortunately, Vonnie's has passed. But we have established Molly's.
Yes. And
still family ran, operated for 12 years. It's just huge store. I like to call it a lot in the middle of nowhere.
It is in the middle of nowhere.
Right at the corner of intersection of 213, 298.
Yep. Kennedyville, Maryland. Yep.
And it is, it's a one-stop shop. We got the mini mart on the one side, so you can get your gas, your liquor, bourbon.
Beer, bourbon, gasoline, and diesel fuel. I got you covered.
And if we're not, but they also do have a special beer that they offer there, correct?
Yes.
They do. I just happen to have a decal right here. Fin City's PITBOSS Brown.
PITBOSS Brown. That's when you know you're a big deal. And when you have your own beer, you're a big deal.
And I'm telling you now, we have a restaurant as well. You have got to go over there, see Chef Paul,
doing it up.
The PITBOSS Brown burger.
It's good.
And you have a burger?
Oh, Chef Paul made it.
I'm a big guy. I know my food.
Listen, if anybody watching,
oh my God,
we can put down some food. We have some calorie intakers on this table
yes,
right
100%, 100%. I slammed back a McDonald's burger on the way here. I mean, it's easy to do, but the PITBOSS Brown burger, you got to see Chef Paul, and it's just.
I'm blown away by Chef Paul. By the way,
he's a man.
He did the little gathering after the annual.
The anniversary
sale last year, and he was out of his mind.
Yep.
I mean, he was just like throwing things out of a cooler. He was talking about where it came from, how he sourced it, and then all of this at like 9:00 at night after he worked a full day.
He was still going
and still killed it for everybody. So
I wish I had his motor. I do.
I wish I could cook like him,
dude. It's amazing.
So, but you guys have obviously the mart on the right side.
Yep.
You have
restaurant
on the left.
And then we're smack dab right in the middle.
Smack dab in the middle. Now, one thing you guys have that I've never seen anywhere else, and we actually had our own Hunter Stevens do a little photo shoot out there this year. You guys have a Mossy Oak Bottomland wrapped gas station.
Yes. Yep. We know the guys from Mossy Oak real well. We had
incredible. And
we were like, what can we do to really set it apart?
Well, that does it.
Camo gas pumps.
And
let me tell you, I see more people. So
everybody can see it too, but.
Yep, 100%. Make sure that photo's up. But we have more people stop to just take pictures of those pumps than I've ever seen before. It is incredible.
Yep. So I've traveled at this point 46 states. Okay. I've been around. I've been to all of our dealers. You know, you guys talk about Molly's family, and this is something that we've incorporated in our own Retay world at this point. Retay family for us, because you guys have set a precedent as far as being a legit family. There's no one that walks in that store who's not greeted, who's not welcomed, and who is not a part of the Molly's family once they come. Jeff, you've done a tremendous job over the years really pushing that mantra home because you guys have been honestly a family together. You have your own world. Man, the Molly's family is a part of everyday life for you, but for everybody who doesn't know Jeff Coates, okay, which is a very few people, I'm guessing that everybody knows who you are at this point.
You can never assume.
Never assume. So this is, and David, this is going to be a little lesson for us too.
Yeah.
So can you start, I know Habit of Grace, right?
That's where I was born.
Born and raised in Habit of Grace.
Born and raised in Habit of Grace.
The Mecca at this point.
Decoy capital of the world.
Decoy capital of the world. Kind of walk through your younger years, before you were Captain Jeff Coates, before you were pit boss.
I got to tell you, just driving across here this afternoon, going through, I came up 331, went through, actually even text Karen like I'm in Donald Hughes's zip code. You know, Donald's no longer with us, but like 20 years ago, brought back a lot of memories. I haven't been on that road in quite a while.
Right.
Did a lot of snow goose hunting over that way and Canada geese. But man, somebody asked me that the other day, you know, like at 25 years old, what was Jeff Coates?
Right.
I said, Jeff Coates was married. He got married very young. And, I won't go off on a tangent there, but just I thought about it as I drove today, going across there through Donald's. Like I started off doing, I just was doing something that I really loved and enjoyed, and like didn't really know what the path was or where it was going to end up. Right. And, so, sometimes life has those journeys that, you take the twist in the road, or you take the intersection, you go one way or the other. Right. And like, I didn't consciously plan to be right here today, but that's just kind of how things have happened. Yeah. I think I was just in the right place at the right time, again, with Donald Hughes's tutelage of teaching me the internet in 1994. Right. In the beginning, if you use your real name online, if you used your real name, somebody was coming to your house and kill you, right? So, like, PITBOSS has always been the 7 letters on my truck tag, and like it just it has nothing to do with sea duck hunting or what I do. Yeah. But again, like if you used your real name back in the day, like somebody was going to kill you. Right. At least come to your house and get you, right?
This was pre TikTok for sure. Yeah. Right? Now it's just China's going to come and invade all of your TikToks now. But
but no, I mean he was pretty much straight up forward saying this is what you need to learn. You need to learn the internet because this is the way you're going to promote yourself. This is the way you're going to grow, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword where you're going to promote what you do, and other people are going to do exactly what you do too. Correct. So, kind of the double-edged sword of things. But I credit Donald. If I didn't meet Donald Hughes in 1994, I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Really,
I really do think that.
Yeah. What were you doing in '94? What were you doing? Were you guiding? Were you carving? Were you? What was your day-to-day job at that point?
Well, it was self-employed. Okay. Self-employed in the first marriage, we had a small family business, and kind of going through that separation and divorce allowed me to go off and do bigger and better things, but things that I wanted to do myself. Right. I kind of fell into that. I don't know how far we want to go off topic here.
This is the round table. All right, okay. You want to.
So I think like growing up, like I fell into that socialization that this is you go to high school, right? You graduate high school, you go to college. Well, my first year of college, my first semester of college, I was on academic probation. Oh. My second semester of college, I was academically suspended because I like to go
Seems
work.
Like a really noticeable story to me.
I can tell you now, you made it further than I did. I didn't even make it through my first semester of college. Yeah. I went through half of it, and I said, "This ain't it, Chief."
It's not for me. And especially in a time right now, we're talking about all the student loan forgiveness and everything else. I mean, we've said it on, and I've gotten pretty deep on the podcast about my background and how college wasn't for me. All right. I went and played. The only reason I went to college was to play baseball. Hands down, with no other reason in the world. Now I get to do what I do every day, literally living my dream. And you kind of had that same spectrum around it too.
Yeah, I wanted to go play major college football, and that didn't. I was too small and too slow, so that didn't work out. But no, man, I've always kind of enjoyed. I went through a period of 1970 Chevelle Super Sport. I went through my drag racing phase and that kind of thing. So I did that kind of stuff, and always like working with my hands. And kind of the decoys just kind of fell right into that world, if you will. And again, I'll mention Donald Hughes again. He's the one suggested about me guiding, and
really,
so kind of 1999 kind of kicked that off. In 1997, it's like a 2-year divorce, trying to work our way through family business and finance and all that type of thing. So by 1996, 97, I was basically free. Yeah. And just
living your life.
Yeah, kind of like, I guess maybe a little bit of a rebellious stage of like, I'm not going to go do the the 9 to 5 thing.
Absolutely.
Kind of thing. And
I think we're all in that same. It's sitting at this table. We all don't live a common, everyday life. I mean, my schedule is hectic as it always. Your schedule is as hectic as anybody else's. So. What's a normal day for you, Dave?
I'll put it to you this way. Last week I had a 21-hour day.
Nice.
21 hours.
Did you sleep at the new digs?
No. I should have. But no, I was foolish enough to drive home, and it's like, wake up next morning. All right.
Yep. Go back.
What's today?
Yep, no banker hours in the outdoor world, and you can be a testament to that, right? And whether you know this or not, I followed you before we ever knew each other.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, because this was my dream. I wanted to be in the outdoor industry. I wanted to be in the hunting industry. So therefore, I looked at guys like yourself on how you've kind of done it. And I had no background whatsoever. And I think the first time you and I met was maybe 2020 maybe? No, it was 19. Yeah, it was when I started working for Retay in 19, when the company kind of started.
Fishing,
actually. Oh yeah, well, yeah. I had a little stint.
So it would be back. We can rewind a little bit.
Wow,
further.
That was a little bit before that even. Yeah. So I was still living over on the western side of the bay, and we went on a fishing trip together. I took my nephew and my father-in-law.
I remember, and I think I told you this, Jeff. It was, 2017. I moved out of my parents' house, living with a coworker. I was watching. It was The Grind.
Mm-hmm.
The Grind, Waterfowl TV.
And there was an episode that had Jeff on it, sea duck hunting. And for some reason, I was like, I don't know what it is. This guy's in Maryland.
Yep.
I want to meet him.
There was an untouchableness, right? Because honestly, watching The Grind and watching, later with the Drake Migration Nation, you're in the same realm as of Waddell and everybody else, because we couldn't relate to that as viewers, as younger guys. Yeah. It was just like, man, how do I get to that spot, right? Now, I'm too ugly to be on camera. Therefore, you're able to do that. And David, me and you, we kind of do our thing.
I got a face for radio.
Exactly right. That's why we do a podcast and not a blog, right?
Yep.
So, but going back to that, so you're 20. What are you in your 20s at that point? 30?
Yeah, I'm probably right pushing. Yeah, right pushing 30 in there somewhere.
Hunting was always there in your life, though.
Early on, no.
No.
Like not through high school, no.
Really?
No, yeah. No, it actually, the first thing I tried to hunt was a turkey, believe it or not.
Well,
but I always was interested in waterfowl, and I worked a real short stint of time, early marriage there, worked with a fella that he was big into waterfowl. Okay. So I took him, didn't turkey hunt. I took him turkey hunt, and in turn he took me duck hunting, and I was hooked pretty much from that first trip. So.
If it has, I always joke about if it has wings, I'm gonna try to chase it. And that's turkey hunting for me. I'm a waterfowl guy, right? I'm a waterfowl guy by trade. If I had to pick one, I'm probably chasing turkeys.
And see,
I love it.
I know you and I are going to disagree on this heavy, Jesse. I know we're going to disagree heavy. I'm a deer guy.
I know.
Nothing gets me more jacked up.
So you say that. So to me, turkey hunting is deer hunting.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, I would associate it closer to deer hunting than waterfowl hunting.
Okay.
That's just me.
I can tell you now, I learned last year I can't be out on the ocean with Jeff for too long. I learned that the hard way.
Well, we're going to get to the world's largest duck boat.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about it.
Is there room to put a video in right here?
100%.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we need to put that video in there.
We can get the video and put it in. We'll insert video here of David. And it's a quick video.
It is a very quick one.
And in your defense, all your other two cohorts. Defense. It was a big swell day for sure. The boat went up and the boat went down.
Before we even left, as soon as we got in the boat, the one boy just paled. I was like, "Oh, he's gonna do it."
Yeah. It's gonna be a long day.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, that was the sea ducks. If you've never gone sea duck hunting, you have to do it.
Yes.
I've always just been a land, let me stand on the edge of this pond. Let's see what happens.
Being around the country, two questions I get. Hey, man, y'all got any of them sea deer up there? Thanks a lot, meat eater. Now everybody knows about that. The number two thing is, man, you guys shoot sea ducks.
Sea ducks, yeah.
And it's not like, hey, what is the history of the Chesapeake Bay like? What's it like to be in the home of waterfowl hunting? It's like, man, you guys get sea ducks? Yep. Hey, do you know Jeff Coates? Because, it's not just a regional thing here. You're well-renowned across the country as being the foremost authority for sea ducks.
Very kind.
And of course. And it's one of those things where guys out of Mississippi and Louisiana and Texas, they have the Gulf there. They don't have sea ducks there. It's a lot different. But that's the one thing they always ask about Maryland is
sea ducks.
Y'all got sea ducks.
I don't want to sound like the old guy, but like maybe at 30 years old, I didn't understand it. But at this age today, and maybe the last 5 years, like it's
at
kind
35
of
now.
Yeah, 35. Okay. It's all relative, and I didn't understand that then, but it's truly all relative. I was speaking to an older gentleman last night from Louisiana. I told him, I said, man, bufflehead here in Maryland are everywhere. I said, like, we don't shoot bufflehead. And he's like,
all I've ever wanted to do.
He says, I've never seen a bufflehead, right? And I was like, well, when you're here, you're going to see plenty of them because they're everywhere. We feed them in the backyard. Right. There's 100 of them sitting out eating corn.
Refuge.
That's
we
where
see
they're
it
at,
on social media. Yeah, the refuge is hot and heavy.
But it is truly, it's everything is relative. Everything is relative.
Yeah, for us, we dream about tens of thousands of mallards falling on top of us. We don't really have that here, as far especially in the timber and stuff like that. I think you and I are the same. A bufflehead doesn't really do it for me, right? There are legit guys who consider a bufflehead to be like on their hit list of ducks that they want to go after, and it's like, man, you guys can clean up all the buffleheads you want. We don't do that. Same concept when you go to guys in the deep south, your purest greenhead mallard hunters. They're like, man, wood ducks. Like, we don't shoot wood ducks. And here, we have a pile of them, number 100%. One. And it's just relative, like you said, to where you're at, because we don't get a big push of mallards early. We don't get a big push of mallards possibly at all sometimes. So those wood ducks, those teal, those widgeons, the gadwall, trash ducks to some guys, the purists that are out there, we don't get to see that as much. So on the hunting side of things, we kind of got to where you're at today. Me personally, we have one sitting on the table right here at the round table. We have a decoy. This is actually a Pat Vincetti decoy, by the way.
It's a very stereotypical upper. It's a great, not stereotypical. It's a great example of an upper bay, just canvasback,
slick back decoy. Whatever. What is the terminology of the Chesapeake Bay decoy?
Well, that would be an upper bay bird, right? So it's specifically a Havre de Grace bird where it has the upswoop tail, whereas a Cecil County bird would be more a straight tail coming out the back. Gotcha. That body is turned on a machine lathe. Yep. So they're just basic.
Duplicator, right?
Yep. Duplicator, cranking out the bodies. There's still a lot of work in that body after it comes off the lathe. Yeah. But that would be a prime example of a upper bay bird, specifically canvasback, that's painted in oils, and the technique of painting is kind of the wet on wet. The white goes down, and then he'll come back and feather the body as the paint's wet.
And so it's feather details.
Yeah, so
like
they're
that.
Painting wet paint on wet paint kind of thing. So they're through probably from the 1870s on. There's been thousands of those.
Yeah. Yeah, which is all, again, relevant because we see them all the time. Yeah, 100%. Right? Yeah. We're in the home of them. Yeah. I've got Ducks Unlimited chapters around the country that will constantly want to trade out. Hey, can you get me one of these or give me one of these? And they're trading out for, we've always just known them as like, slickbacks or whatever you want to call it, the Chesapeake style. And around the country, there's great decoy carvers everywhere. But we've made such a name here in the state of Maryland. For you, what is the first thing you ever carved? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do actually. It was because that's what the pattern was, and at the time I didn't know better. But anyway, it was a blue wing teal. Okay, and it was in a Ducks Unlimited magazine. It was basically showing you how you could go buy dimensional lumber from a hardware store, and it was 2x6s were the bodies. Really, 1x was the head where you put two 2x6s together. I did not hollow them out, but you could open it up and hollow it out after the fact. And the head was glued up 1x that you put it together. And, gotcha. And I wish I would have taken better care of them. I still have them. The paint's not really in good shape of them. But yeah, it was blue wing teal were the first thing.
So you remember that first one?
Yeah, I still have.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I still have.
So I think you know this. You know who I hunt with and who I collaborate with a lot. Charlie McCurdy is now has been like the fourth time Charlie's been mentioned on this podcast. He started listening to podcasts because I think we started mentioning him, right?
Check him out. Oakview Farms on Instagram.
Farms. You will not be disappointed. He's one of the greatest men that I know, and he's been a profound part of my life for the past 5 or 6 years. We get to hunt over PITBOSS decoys. I mean, this is not a lot of people get to say this. I get to walk out and hunt every single day over a completely hand carved spread decoys.
He has a very nice collection of guns over.
Unbelievable. Yep. And we got some wood ducks in, which my favorite, by the way, you have a head down eating wood duck. That may be the best looking duck to ever float on water. I'm telling you, I love this thing. That and the preener. The preener and their cork bodies, right?
Yep, those are hollow cork.
Hollow cork. Yep. Okay. So walk me through the different styles that you do, that you create.
So early this morning before I took a shower, got myself cleaned up to come here, I actually was gluing in tails of widgeon for Charlie.
Oh, nice.
A little bit on the slow side.
Get some more to hunt over.
Getting them done, but they'll be done before the season. But
awesome.
Ask me the question again. I'm sorry.
The different styles. So I know some are cork, some are wood.
So cork is actually tree bark.
Okay.
There are trees that are in the oak family, and specifically they grow in Portugal. So they have these, if you will, can't call them orchards necessarily, but I don't know what they're really called.
Yeah.
But it's orchards of these oak trees where they actually go and strip down the first 8 to 10 feet of the bark off. I don't know how quickly it grows back, but it does grow back fairly quickly.
So it's renewable.
Yes. Yeah, yep. The trees just keep growing. They strip the bark off. And there was a company in Wilmington, Delaware called Wiley Cork, and they actually imported tree bark, the cork tree bark. And if you remember the old Play-Doh kind of extruders where you'd put it in and push down through, well, basically he ground it up in a hopper and basically extruded this cork. And his first duck cork, well, it came in 2 inches. Okay. And you either bought duck bodies or goose bodies, and they came in a big box. And you had to, if you wanted to do a 4-inch bird, you had to glue two together.
Gotcha.
But his cork was amazing that it did not absorb any water. And almost like a lumber yard, when you went to his shop, or his, not his shop, but his factory out back, he had cork just laying,
wherever.
Yeah, laid up. Because a lot of his cork that kind of stuff went through for like bridge expansion joints and that kind of thing. So it needed to be weatherproof. Gotcha. But his cork did not absorb any water. I don't know my history, so I can't tell exactly the year, but whenever the euro came in vogue, Portugal bought into that system. So his raw materials went up because of a minimum wage. His raw material went up times 3. He didn't get any more cork. He didn't get a better cork. His cork went up, raw material went up 3 times. So a sheet of cork, 4 inches thick, more modern day cork, 4 inches thick, 24 by 36 inches was $35. Well, now all of a sudden, like it's pushing $80.
Wow.
And again, like and this is way, pre-COVID. This is years and years and years and years ago. Right? Yeah.
Well, they got to be $1,000 a bird now. I mean,
probably
100%. The problem was he sold his shop, and his property was older fellow. His property was worth more in the real estate market than in the cork business. But all of our cork today comes imported from Portugal, and that does absorb water.
Really?
So that's one of the reasons why I hollow. Thank you to Tom Matus, great decoy carver in Boise, Idaho. He's like, hey, Jeff, you know what? If we reduce the amount of cork in that bird, he's like, if it does get wet, it's going to hold less water. Therefore, it will, it should weigh less, right? So, put a bottom board on them, carve them with the bottom board, open them up, hollow them out, put it back together. Then the best thing I think about the bottom boards is I can take a brand and I can brand the bottom of the bottom board with my logo versus if it wouldn't do it in the cork.
Correct. Right? That's what I was going to ask you, because when I seen your first decoys, we got the hunter over, I thought there's no way these things are actually going to make it, because there was a bottom board to it and then cork. And I'm not very knowledgeable about this, obviously, but it looks like it would absorb water. Well, I mean,
as long if you shoot them, yes. As soon as the paint's broken, they will absorb water.
Gotcha.
But no, they're and again at the end of the year, if you undo some of the hardware, you open them back up. They do. My Scoter, when I do open them up, water comes running out of them, kind of thing,
so
right?
You can actually open the bodies up on those.
Well,
do you separate the board from the cork?
No,
is that what it is?
No, just like so the lead weights with a brass screw. So there's a hole there, and then the leather loop. Yep. Again, it has a brass. So there's 2 holes in there.
Gotcha.
If you had a really bad situation, you just drill a hole in the bottom and let the thing drain out, and then plug it back up.
Good to know.
Yeah, but
there you go.
Yeah, seriously. So I'm envious of you, by the way. That's one thing that I've always. So I did some grew up farming, went in the construction world. On the side, built some furniture and so on and so forth. So wood's kind of always been around. No bird will ever look at a decoy that I would be able to make and think it was an actual replica of a bird, right? But for me, that's one of the things I've always been envious of. And you see some of these guys. So who are some of the early influences on you? I mean, we've said a bunch of names as it is, but everybody has their own little style. You have your own style. And, Pat Vincetti, who I think makes a great looking decoy, has some painting styles, So who are some of the people that are influential on you?
I used to sit hours and hours. Pat, I used to live very close to Pat. So it would be Pat, Jeannie, his wife, and Bill Collins would all sit together, and they would just one would do, again, it's wet on wet. So one basically, Jeannie would put the white down and Pat would feather it and then Bill would detail it kind of thing, right? So I just sit there, hours and hours, just like made it good for them too, pass the time, we're all talking. So although that's not my style of decoy, like I would have to say that, that Pat, Jeannie, and Bill were very influential. And my very first, I've told this story maybe once or twice, but my very first decoy contest, I went to Havre de Grace.
Okay.
And it's a rig bird. So I was only making like one at a time. And I was like, okay.
This for the festival?
For the festival, yep, in May. And it was black duck. So I was like, man, how hard is a black duck paint, right? You can get away with it pretty easy, right? So anyway, I make my 6 birds. I'm going there and I'm, I've told the story like I'm going there and kick somebody's ass. They're going to, at the end of the show, they're going to know who I am because I'm making a bird that I'm going to, I'm going to win, but they're going to know who I am.
No second guess to who's going to win.
100%. Right? So, but basically I was pretty much embarrassed.
Really?
My birds compared to everybody else's. And there's this old guy come walking over. To me, it was an old guy come walking over to me. I didn't ask him for anything, and he proceeded to tell me exactly everything that was wrong with my bird.
Really?
Yeah. So these other 2 older fellows, Bob Barrows and Sandy Allen, come over and they kind of put their arm around me and say, "Walk away, come with us." That's George Williams. He means no harm, right? Kind of thing. And before the weekend ended, George is like, "Hey man, I'm in Camden, Delaware, just below Dover. Come over, bring, and again, we didn't have iPhones and all that kind of stuff then, right? But he's like, bring whatever you want to bring over. And he says, I'll help you. Basically, I credit George for really dialing me in on my paint job. My carving wasn't bad, but my painting definitely needed help. So he kind of, he got me going on the proper direction. And so I think between those 4 people, that's probably Tom made us too later on, but early on it was definitely George Williams too.
It's awesome. And you're still, how can somebody buy a Jeff Coates decoy? Is it call in? Is it like an email? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I usually like with Charlie. Yeah. He says, "Hey man, this is what I want." So okay, I'll do
Charlie's
that.
a different guy when it comes to that because Charlie has a very very methodic process to what he wants.
And there's other people like that too. Say, "Hey man, can you make me a dozen of this, or can you make me 6 of this, 2 of this, 1 of that?" So that's easy to do. But I always make extras. So usually the extras I post up on Instagram and hey. I don't even really say they're for sale. Just post it up, and somebody will say, "Hey, man, can I get that from you?" Kind of thing.
That's awesome.
Usually, the
I think
extras.
we'd have an inside track on these at this point.
Well, he does.
I actually did.
He does have an inside
I called
track.
Jeff one time. He had just done a black duck because I do collect them.
Okay.
I have some old.
Have you ever tried carving yourself?
No.
Okay.
I slice my hands open bad enough. I don't need a jigsaw. Jeff got close earlier this
still have
year.
all my fingers.
Yeah, Jeff got close earlier this year.
I do watch some of those videos,
jigs.
and I'm like, man, it's very comfortable.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
It's a $10 blade. I'm ready to release anytime.
Okay.
Yep. But he sat there. He posted this black duck. It's funny going back to the black duck. Your first black duck. He posted it, and I was like, "This is different."
Yeah.
I was like, Jeff, next time you carve a black duck, let me know.
That's the inside track.
Oh yeah. I was like, let me know.
That's
because
awesome.
I have to have one.
Yeah.
Like,
What's
you
your
just
collection
let me
like?
know. Not much.
Okay.
Not much.
I have a start of a collection.
Truthfully, I started right when I turned 18.
Yeah.
Just because that's when I started working.
Yeah.
And I believe it or not, first job at Molly's.
First job. Only job.
Only job.
Really?
At Molly's.
I didn't know that.
I started as soon as I graduated high school.
And that was
2016.
2016.
As soon as
6 years later.
6 years later, here I am.
Still here. And obviously the face of
It's David from Molly's.
David from Molly's,
And
right?
you know what?
From Molly's.
We have to give credit where credit's due. Karen is the one responsible for that.
Really?
She did discover David.
If you look back to some of the original videos, we actually had Kyle. We called Kyle Tater. Okay, because
I don't call him anything. So
no, at the store you can call him Tater. Who cares? But we call Kyle Tater. He's a goofball. He's funny, but on the camera he is dry.
He's dry.
He's a saltine without a drink of water.
He's our Dan.
Yeah,
Dan is the quintessential reason why we move smoothly, but in front of a camera he turns into Ricky Bobby and doesn't know what to do with his hands. Like he just
Yep. And Jeff was there, and this is the first time I've ever met Jeff.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I was like, I got to meet this guy. Jeff was there. I was like a little kid in a candy shop. Holy grail. You know what I mean?
And not just because he's sitting here, by the way.
No, like legit. I was ecstatic. I went home. I told my wife about it. I was like, oh my God, Jeff was in the store. Next day, my boss, Chicky, comes up to me. He's like, hey, you're doing the videos.
Really?
And like no pre-talk, no nothing.
This is Karen's idea.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it was a giveaway, as I recall. It was one of the very first giveaways we ever did. Just trying to really grow the Instagram audience.
Yeah, which has been ridiculous.
Yeah, it was good. It was really, my goal was to get Molly's to the account to 10,000 followers.
Right.
And I think they were, I don't know, like just under 2,000 at the time, something like that. But Karen's running the camera. We're going through, and I think, as I recall, David, we kind of did a group shot at the end of, like, I can't remember exactly, but come to Molly's, or it was something about we had you all. Yeah. And Karen's like,
he's the one.
Shiki, that's your guy right there. That's the one you need
I've
to be.
always been just a high energy dude.
Yeah.
I always have been.
We know that for sure.
Yes. Like, I'm nuts. I don't know what it is.
When the camera flips on, you do have, by the way, taglines, right? I'm not cool enough to have a tagline. Okay. David, you have a tagline. So this is where people are going to really notice and remember who you are. Okay.
Yep.
When you are going through a video, give us the simple rundown of David from Molly's tagline.
So it's super easy. Sarah's like, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to talk about. This is what you need to hit on and finish it.
Okay.
At the first, we're like, what do we do? How do we finish a video? Because it's just so weird to just be like, oh, come check out this item.
See you later.
Yeah, it's so weird. So I sat there and I was just like, how about we'll see you when you get here?
Boom.
And it was like, run it.
Stuck.
So, and it's like,
great tagline.
At the end of every video now is, as always, we'll see you when you get here.
It is astonishing to me that has become, there's kids. Now, last year at the anniversary sale, we're sitting there and we had Dennis and Billy with Dr. Duck, okay?
Yep.
A kid walked past Billy, which they were about the same height. So he's about 7, Billy's about 5'6", So they walked past each other. He goes, hey, is David from Molly's here?
Yep.
And I'm not kidding you. This was the first time I was like, this kid has made something for himself. I want to see David from Molly's. And then he recorded a video with you. Do you remember this?
Yes.
He stood in front of the Retay booth and recorded a video and was super pumped to be able to say, see you when you get here.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, you're as famous as anybody else at this point.
Let me tell you, nothing gets me more jacked up when a kid is like, I want to do a video. It's like, I'll do a video right now, like anywhere. I don't care. Yeah. Like, let's do it.
Now, it's good tagline.
Yes.
There's a better one sitting at the table.
Oh, there's so much better one.
Right?
It's so it's a great
much tagline.
Better.
I don't really know how it came about, to be honest with you. I don't know. We just saying, I'm thinking of you, we are.
Thinking of you, we are.
Yeah, thinking of you, we are.
You can't go on Instagram or social media anywhere and not see somebody cheersing back. Yeah, thinking of you, we are.
I just was like
all over the country.
It was just that kind of thing. Like, it was more of like, I think we're doing something fun. At least I'm doing something fun, and you should be here with us. Right. Thinking of you, we are. If you're not with us, we're thinking of you.
Can't forget the knuckle pump and the boom.
And the boom. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
it's so good.
And the ice rattle in the glass. My personal favorite touch to it.
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
That's not IPIAs, though.
And it's hilarious because even at the end of our videos, we'll still sit there and like, after we're done recording, we'll sit there and be like, boom. Like we always have to do something. Oh, yeah.
You and I recorded a video early on in Retay. I think it was a giveaway or something up there. And maybe 2 weeks later, had a buddy of mine call. Same thing. Hey, man, you know Jeff Coates? And I was like, yeah, man, just got to hang out with him. He's like, dude, he goes, my little boy. And this is a guy from Frederick. He was part of the Ducks Unlimited chapter with us. Yep. He goes, my little boy, man, that's all he goes around. Thinking of you, we are. He runs around the house. So it transcends what we're all doing here, obviously, is selling product, right? Yeah. And this podcast is one thing we're never going to sell product. One thing we are going to let people know about, though, is an upcoming event here in about 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, it is creeping up on us that quick. Last weekend of September. Anniversary sale. Not just any sale, though. This is a blowout of all blowouts. Yep. There's going to be some familiar faces there. Yep. We're actually talking about him earlier, who got his first battle wound from eating crabs last year. Dennis Luzier, Dr. Duck. He's still nursing an injury, by the way, and won't let anybody forget it. Oh yeah. Him and Billy Campbell, Dr. Duck, are going to be coming up to the store, hanging out with everybody. Sales are unbelievable this year. Literally, even if someone was there the day before, they come back. There it is. Just because of like how big of an attraction it is. We have a tent that stretches the whole front of our store. We actually have 2 tents. That way we cover our parking lot as well, and it's just full of product. Plenty of parking still available. Oh, plenty of parking. Plenty of parking. We will make sure you can park your car. That's not a problem. but
and a staff that will actually take your stuff back to your car for you.
Yes.
That's something you don't see a lot.
No, our number one motto is customer service.
Absolutely.
We want that customer to sit there and be like, wow.
Yeah,
these guys went their extra mile.
And it's experience.
Well,
you got to give Nick and Chick a little credit.
Oh yeah,
right?
100%.
Because now we're all out there in front of people, but the one who succeeds the most is the crazy man who runs around and gives out candy and makes sure that any person that leaves there is going to have an experience.
Yep.
And talk about working for Nick and Chick a little bit. So Nick and Chick, owners of Molly's.
Yes, and they are 1,000,000 miles per minute.
Yeah.
Like not even per minute, per second.
100%.
But I mean, you want to talk about living the American dream.
Yeah.
They came over from India.
Yep.
They came over with $5. See, they told me the story. $5. That's all they had.
Yep.
And now they have come to where they have ownership of the store, and they are the most genuine dudes
by far
that you'll ever meet. And they are not afraid to just go and do it.
I leave out of there most of the times thinking like, man, I wish he wouldn't give my boy like every pack of candy out of the gas station, right? But it's not even that. There's if it's your first time there, they're probably going to find you because you're kind of lingering around, maybe not knowing what you're doing.
Yep.
You're never going to know who they are. They're going to come up behind you. They're going to ask about, where are you from? How are you doing today? Where's your kids at? Like whatever it might be. And then you may leave there with a bottle of wine.
Yep.
Who knows, right?
Yep.
Because it means something every time somebody walks through that door to be a part of that community and group, right?
It's the Molly's family.
It is.
We talked on it earlier. Molly's family. I can't tell you how many people I've met from over state lines.
Yeah.
And it's like, just come be part of our family.
Yep. It's impressive what's been done up there. Jeff, you've been a pretty pivotal part of this as well.
Yes, it's a really kind of cool story where like basically kind of I didn't know who Chicky was.
Yeah.
But
Jeff, listen.
At the time, we had a friend in common kind of thing.
Yep.
And the friend was saying, "Hey man, have you been to the Eastern Waterfowl Festival recently?" I was like, "No, I haven't been there in years."
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, I was doing some things with Drake at the time, Migration Nation." And he's like, "Would you like to come over?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll come over for sure." But like in that conversation, all of a sudden, Chicky's on the phone. And he tells me this day, he's like, "I got my notepad," and he said, "I still have those notes today. All the stuff, that we kind of went over, just like kind of just spitballing back and forth."
That's awesome.
Just questions, and I just kind of grew from that.
They're sponges, man. Like that's the greatest way because there's never a conversation that I had with them that I don't learn something or they're not trying to learn something as well.
Yeah. So. My interaction these days usually is early in the morning with Chicky.
Yeah, or 11 o'clock at night.
Well, yeah, but generally early morning. Karen's already left for work, and I'll text her that I'm ready to walk through that brick wall now. Like I just got off the phone with Chicky, I'm ready to walk through that brick wall. Let's go. Pumped kind of like let's go. I'm ready to go.
He will leave you motivated. 100%. Both of them, they will leave you motivated.
Yep. So Jeff, you'll be at the anniversary sale.
I will be. Yep. Looking forward to it.
Meet and greets coming up, shaking pictures, kissing babies.
Yeah, I just like walking around, kind of doing my thing.
Yeah.
Are
we making any meat this year?
I don't know. I'm not sure what 100% the plans are going to be there, but
because we had sausage 2 years ago.
Yeah. Actually, a good friend of mine just sent me these sausage popper recipe that is looking pretty good.
Okay.
But Karen and I have been eating red meat recently, so I'm going to have to get.
I've seen the slowdown on the cooking recipes recently.
Yeah, we're losing weight.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Well, that you are. I'll put it back on for you.
I was going to say, Dave and I are finding it. So
she's doing better than I am, but yeah, man, we've been just trying to, trying to do a little bit better in that sense. But
how pivotal is Karen in your life?
Man, she's my best friend. I tell people it took me 45 years to find my best friend, kind of thing. But no, she's current day. If you know me, like you should know Karen too, because she supports me. Yeah. She gets me, understands, allows me to do all the stuff that we do. And, as jokingly, I say she has the real job, but Chicky's got a gag order on me, so I can't really talk about the project currently, but there's a big project going on. And once the project's complete, like she'll be a very big part of that also.
Awesome. Well, from the outside looking in, I can see how much you guys love each other and the support that she gives to you, because it's not an easy life, because we're all, we all have weird hours. And then once you're into that 60 days, right?
60 days.
Down to 60 days.
Yep, down to 60 days. So, this will be the first year that there is no special sea duck season in Atlantic Flyway.
Yeah.
So sea ducks are just ducks whenever duck season's open. So.
Yeah. So how does that affect, not only just the business aspect of it, how does that affect your day to day? You lost 30 days pretty much, right?
Well, so it used to be Yes and no. It used to be 107 days long, right? So in that 107 days, it would open the first weekend in October and go to the basic last day of January.
Right.
We don't hunt Sundays in Maryland, but wherever that last day fell during the week. So it was always open, and nobody remembers in the Atlantic Flyway that there was a 30-day duck season. Do you remember that?
I don't. That was before me. So I'm pre-moratorium as well. So so I was about 6.
In the Atlantic Flyway, we could have a 30-day duck season, we could have a 45-day duck season, or we could have a 60-day duck season. So we've been very fortunate probably for 22, 23 years. It's been 60 days. So we had a 107-day sea duck season. We had the 60-day duck season, and basically ducks overlapped. Current day, last year, there still was a special sea duck season, which was 60 days. Maryland was a week of October for ducks, 2 weeks in November, mid-December to the end of January. In between the October and November split, that's when sea ducks opened. So sea ducks was a continuous 60 days, and it closed on the January 9th. Right. So in there, that basically that first weekend in January, and then everything was open to the end of January.
Gotcha.
So we couldn't legally. It's a little there's some gray areas there, but basically once sea ducks were closed, for instance, in the ocean, it's the sea duck zone only. So even though duck season was still open, I couldn't go back out in the ocean and shoot sea ducks because the sea duck season was closed. Gotcha. So this, spin it forward, they've basically did away with the special sea duck season. So now, in whatever state you are in the Atlantic Flyway, when ducks are open, then sea ducks will be legally open. So.
Okay.
So I did lose a few days.
Yeah. So and I'm guessing losing a couple of days, the amount of availability that you have at this point is probably gone for the season.
Yeah, I think Thanksgiving morning. Woke up this morning. I got an email. I think a guy's going to take Thanksgiving from Delaware, and that was my last open day. Yeah. So
if somebody in the future wants to get, say in 2023,
with 23-24 season, we're booking now. So.
Booking now. So what website? How can they get a hold of Jeff?
It's pretty easy. I mean, if you just kind of Google my name, Jeff Coates, COATS, or PITBOSS Waterfowl, pop up pretty much anywhere kind of thing. So
perfect.
My phone's always on. I tell people text, talk. So
text and talk.
My phone's always on.
You take a lot of Instagram messages.
I do. It's kind of amazing, if I can go off on a little tangent, how there's somebody will actually book a hunt on Instagram and we never talk. So and I'm good with that, but eventually, at the very end, they're like, "Well, where can we send a text or a check or deposit or how? No, not even. How could we get a deposit?" I was like, "Hey, let's take a break here. Here's my phone number.
Give me a call.
Let's talk so I can at least save your phone number."
Listen here, Red Dog 007. Well, I need to have your name.
I was just going to say, Duck Slayer 123 doesn't really equate into Jimmy Smith, right? And it's very easy to lose contact with somebody that way. So eventually at the end, I don't mind doing it that way, but at the end, I do need to let's talk just so I can definitely.
Validate
have your 100% of your contact info.
And let's not forget, Jeff is up during that season 2 a.m.
at Wawa.
At Wawa.
I get up at 2 every morning.
Like I said, fortunate enough last year we got to go out with him, and I mean we were taking
on the world's largest duck boat.
World's largest duck boat. World's largest duck boat, right in Ocean City, Maryland, and. We're on the way there. I'm like, I can't believe Jeff drives this far just to come to the store for events and this and that. And he's there. He's like, you guys ready? I guess so.
So this is also about the time where you're probably looking for a trash can.
So
I was more concerned about David had this 32-ounce Monster energy drink. And I'm thinking, I've seen this before. That's maybe not what you want to be sucking down right now.
Yep. And I killed it. I needed it. I won't even lie. I needed it. But I will say, Jeff did me a little dirty. Sat there. Both those 2 other boys that were with me.
I did get video of them. Okay.
Had thrown up 5 times.
But when you're as prolific as you are, you have
David from Molly's.
And it hit me all of a sudden. I was like, yep, here we go.
Hand me that bucket.
Yep. And that's exactly what I said. I said, all right, it's my turn. Give me the bucket.
I'll rewind to the beginning of the hunt. I'm getting ready and getting everything set. And we see fish, it's the ocean, right? So you see all kinds of stuff. And I didn't even realize what happened where all of a sudden I'm like, man, I think those fish are breaking really close to the boat.
Seagulls dive in the boat.
Not seen that. Well, I can't remember. Somebody's already thrown up over the what I didn't even know that they threw up. But the fish were eating, the puke, and the birds are going. I'm like, wow, we never really have fish that close to the boat. I'm not really sure what's going on here.
Yep. But it was. I'll tell you though. Book a hunt. If you want to experience the sea duck, which you do, you want to experience it. It's nothing like. us, we're mallard guys.
100%.
We're puddle duck. We're looking up, looking for the birds flying, mile high, something like that.
Horizon.
Jeff's
birds.
like,
Look on the horizon.
Look on the horizon.
Yep.
And it was insane. It's like these ducks just appeared out of waves, and it's like shoot them. It's God.
Did you ever connect?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were too busy in the back of the boat or not.
Oh no. I know. I made sure our one stock boy was on the front. He had been knocking it out of the park that year, so I was like, "You get the front of the boat. You'll get the most shooting." The other one, he just kind of tag along, so I kind of put him in the back. I was like, "I'll be in the middle." And yeah, it was an adventure. We didn't have any of the classic Jeffcoat train wrecks.
Okay.
But we got 2 birds shy of limit, and I was like, Jeff, it's time to hit. Land lovers need the land.
And sincerely, it was a big swell, man.
Yeah.
It was a big northeast swell, and
Things can turn on out there pretty quick.
it was rough, but the boat went up and the boat went down.
Mm-hmm. And watching Ocean City wake up
Yes.
from the ocean was incredible.
I bet.
It was like a scenery you would never imagine, because we're only a mile?
Yeah,
A mile, and you're like, I see people going on the Ferris wheel, and I'm shooting ducks.
Yeah, right. People are walking their dogs down the boardwalk.
Yeah, it's like, this is incredible.
If the wind's right, we might not know that we may not see them, but if the wind's right, they know we're out there.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So now, one thing I've always been envious of.
What's that?
You guys eat pretty well on the world's largest duck boat.
We try to.
Crab soup,
Try to, yep.
cream of crab.
Cream of crab, Maryland crab. Maryland, I think almost, I love the cream, but Maryland crab soup is
with you.
maybe almost my favorite. But.
So Hunter is lurking in the background here.
Yep.
Hunter came from Memphis, Tennessee.
God.
He has quickly found a love
For seafood.
of, well, not just particularly just crabs.
Crabs, there you go.
He's also found out you can mix it.
Yep.
And I think that, Hunter, if I'm correct, that's your go-to now. Yeah, it's a mix between cream of crab and Maryland crab every time, right? So, but we've got kind of through that side of things. We want to talk about the anniversary sale a little more.
Yep.
The anniversary sale for us, and this is where Jeff comes into play here. Early on, when Chris started Retay, there was a connection made between you and Chris, and then you and Molly's.
Yeah, I like to tell the story that I think I'm responsible for.
All of this success.
Because Chris showed up. Chris contacted me. Shows up at Ocean City. We're down there talking, and just getting along. And it's like, hey man, have you ever been to Molly's? And he's like, what's Molly's?
What's Molly's? Right?
Yep. That's
like,
the number one thing people always say. What's Molly's?
Yeah, it's like, well, he came across the Bay Bridge. I was like, that's about an hour above the Bay Bridge. I said, man, I think it'd be worth your drive to go check out Molly's if you don't know what Molly's is. And I guess the rest is history. Kind of thing.
Pivotal part of our success too. I mean, we have some very key stores in the country, and we've mentioned them before. Simmons Sporting Goods in Bastrop, Louisiana. Molly's here in the Southeast. We have a plethora of stores, but really Molly's is a staple for us. As far as this is probably our home store, if you would say that.
I would agree.
And Molly's has the whole Eastern Shore. It's their territory. They sell to every person that has a retail on the Eastern Shore and the Western Shore in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and wherever people come. I mean, there's people that are coming to these sales from New York.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I have.
we're not that close, by the way.
No, we are not that close. And I mean, you'll see. My favorite part of it all is to just walk and look at people's tags.
Yeah.
Where did they come from? How far was the drive?
Yeah.
So you say that about coming from New York. I mean, again, I have a lot of friends, sprawl, that they'll tell me that, man, like I am going to drive to Maryland to go to Molly's because number one, they have the selection, and number two, in their area, ammo doesn't exist, and or they can only buy a box at a time.
No shortage of that at Molly's, say Dave.
No, there's no shortage of that. Luckily, we have everything you could want besides the off the wall.
Correct. Yeah. And on top of that, not just at store. You guys also have a website.
Yes, we do. MyMollys.com. You can check it out. And we put everything.
Shipping to all 50 states?
As long as they're allowed.
Yeah, California, so be it. But
yeah,
everybody else.
It's a little iffy, yeah.
So anniversary sale, hard dates again.
So, dates. Last weekend.
Yep.
It's the 23rd, 24th, 25th of this year.
The last full weekend of the month.
Last full weekend
of the month.
of September.
Yes.
We are there 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yes. I'm going to break something for you right here on the podcast. You ready?
All right, let's hear it.
So we talk about sales and everything. We have an absolute one-of-a-kind sale going on with Retay at Molly's.
Let's hear it.
So the first 10 people, okay, that get these in their hands, we as a company have never done a combo package before. Mm-hmm. Okay. Last year we did a couple turkey guns that were horizontally dipped at bottom land. Looked awesome, right?
First of all, if you didn't see them, you got to check them out.
Yep.
Mighty fresh.
Mighty fresh. Looking good in all accounts, right? This year at the anniversary sale, there will be 10 available that will have a 22, it's a 20 gauge Masai Mar turkey edition. Okay, 22-inch barrel. But also, if you were one of the first 10 people to get this gun, you also have a comboed 28-inch barrel to go with it.
There you go.
At the same price.
Yep. There you go. That's
Nobody else has that. Nobody else in the country has that deal.
That's the package.
That is the package. And I got something else for you.
Let's hear it.
One of a kind, mossy oak blades, original blades on a bronze receiver and barrel, Cerakoted.
Now, if that doesn't get you all excited, you're not feeling anything. That's
this
incredible.
may be the first person to hear it because I haven't told anybody.
There you go.
Not even you.
Yeah, it's news to me.
It's news to you, right? So we're not only going to have one first come, first serve. When those 10 are gone, those are the only 10 we're doing. But we're also going to have the Cerakoted burnt bronze with the original DU Shadowgrass available in store while supplies last for that weekend. Yep. You probably are going to want to be there Friday.
Yes.
Honestly.
Be there Friday. And like I said, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Be there Friday.
I will be there at 7:30 waiting to give people tickets on Friday. Yep. If they're in line to get into the store and they say, hey, I'm here for this. I'm here for the combo package from Retay. I will have 10 tickets. It'll be a golden ticket. And I will hand them out in line so that there's no confusion about it.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Done. What do you think about that, Jeff?
I think it's a pretty good deal.
Pretty good deal.
100%.
And nowhere else. I mean, we're there. The whole crew's there. We're brand new. You got to see a little sneak peek of it. Brand new Retay Road Tripper out there.
Yes.
By the way.
Yes.
Brand new truck that we have wrapped up. And
I'm a little jealous. Okay. I won't lie. We may have to have some videos of it off-roading or something, but we'll get there.
Hey, we got the field across the street. We can always do some donuts in.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. All right. So we're looking forward to it. Now, I am going to break character a little bit here. We talked about it earlier. We have somebody here that ultimately is pretty much the brainchild.
Oh, 100%.
Of everything that happens at Molly's. And if we can, and Jeff, you and I will keep talking here.
100%.
We're going to switch out because we're still on a budget around here. We only got 3 headsets.
Yep.
Sara from Molly's.
Yes.
Is going to come in and join us here for a couple minutes, if she will.
Come on over here.
All right. So we're going to get Sara up here.
Yep.
Jeff, what do you got going on for the anniversary sale this year?
Well, I wanted to say, just like your first 10, that special deal. I don't know all that will be there, but there's that kind of thing with everything. Like, it doesn't, whatever the brand is, like there's going to be some kind of combo, get a gun,
one of the kinds.
Get a case of shells, or I don't know. Yep. I don't know the particulars, but I do know that is the general theme of how things work. And probably like Saturday afternoon, definitely on Sunday, all of a sudden, I like to call it new old stock. All of a sudden, new old stock comes out at incredible discounts.
You never notice. I mean, I always like to see it. Probably Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock-ish, the racks start rolling out, right? Yep. And we've never seen these racks. I'm probably one of the first one that gets to jump into these things, so I kind of get over there, see what the deals are. But the person who really gets to put all this out there for the world, Sara from Molly's.
Hey.
How are you? Good. She is not okay. This is your first podcast?
Look, this is my first podcast, and I'm usually behind the camera, so this is a different place for me. But.
So all the TikToks, all the social media, all the Instagrams, give us an idea of what do you do at Molly's?
Yeah, so I'm the marketing director at Molly's. I've been there this is almost 2 years now. I mean, they had I can't take credit for everything. They definitely had a grasp on social media before I got there, but we've just taken it up a notch, and David and I work really well together. Jeff and I work really well together, and it's worked
100%,
out.
100%.
Yeah.
So for the anniversary sale.
Yep.
What are some of the things you can tell us now that we may have not known?
Yeah, so something I wanted to announce, and David probably maybe forgot a little bit about it. On Sunday, we're actually hosting the Maryland State turkey calling competition for NWTF.
Yes.
So that's gonna be on Sunday. Registration's open for that if you're a turkey caller.
Russ Leaf, by the way, didn't know this. Common friend of mine. I love
Russ.
Russ
Yeah. We've been in touch about it and stuff. So you'll see some marketing pushes on that.
Top of the line guy. What he does for the community.
Yeah.
What he does for youth hunting in the state of Maryland. He puts on one of the only. Jeff, I don't know if you even knew this or not. Russ runs a program through NWTF that takes first-time hunters.
I did not know.
Conditions them, gets them through hunter safety course, puts them down into field days, and their first hunt is a special hunt that they take them to Blackwater Refuge right in Dorchester County.
Very nice.
Last year, I believe, was 22 first time hunters that got to go in and harvest their first deer or turkey or whatever season it may be. But he does a great job. So I'll give a little plug for Russ.
Oh, that's awesome. And all those organizations, Ducks Unlimited and WTO, they're also great about that. And at Molly's, our mission really is like kids and continuing the tradition of hunting. And I mean, I know I'm born and raised here on the Eastern Shore, and that was kind of ingrained in my life as a kid too. So.
Did you go to Molly's before being an employee?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I got into it. I'm pretty big with our local Ducks Unlimited chapter, and I was doing Kent County. Yep. Check us out. Yep. I was doing free marketing for Ducks Unlimited while doing my other job, and that's kind of how I got in with the Molly's guys, and they liked what I was doing for Ducks Unlimited, and they were like, "Yeah, come work for us."
Fishing tournaments now.
Fishing tournaments. We do. We usually have a banquet. We had to put it on pause for COVID, but
one of the bigger banquets in the state, by the way. So
actually, Kent County is one of the oldest chapters in the state of Maryland, and it's very near and dear to my heart. My great uncle was a founding member of the chapter, so it's like really important to me.
Absolutely.
Even though it's like free work, it's a lot of work. I could never give it up.
Awesome.
It's important to me.
So coming from the western side, we had a chapter over there that we ran for a couple of years, still kicking butt over there. Those guys are in an area where you shouldn't have a lot of support. We've built that thing into a pretty awesome chapter. Coming to Kent County every year gave us a little bit of a push. Like, hey, this is what you're shooting for, right? This is the grail in the state of Maryland. This is what you want to kind of strive to be in your chapter.
Absolutely. And we've worked really hard to kind of push that chapter into newer things like our fishing tournaments. This is the third year for our fishing tournament.
Sponsored by Molly's.
Sponsored by Molly's. Yep. There are, we actually call them a partner. They pretty much sponsor every event that we put on. So Molly's is great. One of the things when I got hired at Molly's, Chicky told me, we will never say no to somebody asking for a donation. He's probably going to be, I probably shouldn't put that on a podcast, but we really try to,
what are you doing, Sara?
We do really try to support, our local firehouses, all those local hunting organizations, raise money because we are one of the bigger businesses in Kent County.
Absolutely.
Kent County is a very rural place.
Yes.
We're in Kennyville, which is 100 people, population 100 people. That's where our store is. So, and our county's not that much bigger than that either. Right. So we really just try to help out because we're bringing a lot of business there. We want to give back to our area.
You guys do a great job at it too. So we're excited for the anniversary sale. Anything you can think of coming up?
Well, we got the anniversary sale, and then after the anniversary sale, our next big thing is Waterfowl Festival. Yeah, and I know, Retay is right next to us at the Waterfowl Festival. It's a really, really good time.
With
and I know
a bigger tent this year.
With a bigger tent, that's awesome. And I know I've been talking to the Waterfowl Festival people, and they've got some big plans that I'm sure will be coming out.
And what Molly's has done for the Waterfowl Festival is unbelievable.
Yeah,
I don't want to say it was dying, but I think we can kind of like. It was on a
different course,
trajectory, right? Yeah, so
it was on a different course.
What you guys have done coming in? You now sponsor the Sportsman's Pavilion.
Yep.
Okay, so it's the Molly Sportsman's Pavilion, and then also we got some guys which we're going to release it now. There are 2 new entries into the World Goose this year. Okay, myself coming out of retirement.
Awesome.
I'm coming out of retirement. We're going to run live goose and live team with a couple buddies, and then we also have our own Hunter Stevens who. As a junior duck caller out of Memphis, has a little setback skill there nobody knows about.
That's what's up.
Awesome. Yeah,
we sponsor the calling competition. We take so last year was my first full year with Molly's and the first time that I got to see what they do at Waterfowl Festival. So we call it a pop-up shop, but it's a huge tent, like 60 by 100 tent. Yeah. And we literally bring a tractor trailer of merchandise there.
Like
literally. And it's so much work for our team. We have other festivals that contact us and like, oh, we see what you do at Waterfowl Festival. Can you come do it there? I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to travel the whole store.
It's a lot of work to do that, but it's awesome.
It's a 6 a.m. setup and a midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. if you go out with us. Tear down kind of night,
but
right?
It is so much fun. That festival has a lot of energy, and that Sportsman Pavilion where we all are all situated is really fun.
Live music this year?
Yeah, they're going to have live music, which we're pumped about.
Stages set up. Mm-hmm. We have something up our sleeve that we can't release just yet because we do like to keep people in suspense. Last year was our first. It was our birth year right there at the Waterfowl Festival, right? I love being able to give back to the community that allows us to be here. Yeah, everyone lives here. I live in Easton, so for the Waterfowl Festival, November 12th, 13th, and 14th of this year. Mm-hmm. Am I right?
Yes.
You know dates better.
12th is Saturday.
Yes.
So 11th, 12th, and 13th.
Yes.
There we go. See, I knew I had probably
edit that out.
I'm just here for you, man.
Yeah, no. So 11th, 12th, and 13th.
Yes.
Starting on Friday, you guys kick off, right?
Yeah.
I would almost say that your tent may actually be a larger footprint than Molly's store.
No, I don't think so.
It's huge. The tent is monstrous.
It is monstrous, and we have a lot going on in there, and like it really does take on. It looks kind of like our store by the end of it. So
it's awesome. Possibly, we're trying to work out how you can purchase some individual items.
Yes, we are working on that. And I think it's going to come through.
Okay, good.
We're hoping for that. I can't say for certain.
Yeah,
we're working. We are working on it. I think the Waterfowl Festival, like we were mentioning earlier, it was changing a little bit, and it's coming back towards the sportsmen.
Yes.
To support us, because it was going a little towards like the arts festival, which is great, but we need a mix. You know.
Yeah, I was going to say it's an open air venue right between the high school and the Elks Lodge, so it's outdoors. It's very dog friendly. It's very people friendly.
Yep.
And the other two vendor tents, there's all kinds of brands and all
awesome.
types of things there.
Decoys,
and a lot of like small, vendors that you might never have a chance to see, right? I mean,
100%.
So, it's a really, really cool
shameless
event.
plug for my neighbor. I got to do it for him. If you didn't get a chance to walk through last year into like the food section, my neighbor has what they call it, their brand is Black Pearl Oyster Salsa.
Oh, cool.
Okay, they were there at the festival last year. Only made it through the morning of Saturday.
Wow.
Because they sold completely out of everything.
And it's salsa?
It's salsa. Okay, so it's a mix between a mignette and a cocktail sauce.
Okay.
Not a salsa, kind of a salsa. Doesn't have oysters in it. It's a condiment on top of oysters.
Oh, nice.
It will blow your socks off.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Is Hunter a fan of the oyster?
So yes, we've gotten. He is a fan of the oyster.
All right, just checking in.
A fan of the oyster shooter. It's the better
he doesn't even know about oyster shooters yet. Yeah.
Waterfowl Festival, me and you, buddy.
So look, there's so many things going on. We're at kind of our time limit here.
Yeah.
Run through everything. You're so much better at this.
No worries.
Some anniversary sale through Waterfowl Festival.
Anniversary sale last weekend of September. That's every year. This year we're celebrating 12 years in business.
Yep.
Come check it out. It's a great, great time. You'll meet a lot of people. It's the biggest sale we do of the year. It's bigger for us than Black Friday and Christmas. However, we do Waterfowl Festival, then we hit into Black Friday, and we do big for that too. But our anniversary sale, we really open it up. So
it's a good time.
It's over the top.
Absolutely. So we're looking forward to it. David from Molly's, we thank you, buddy. I know we kicked you out of here. Obviously, Sarah's way better looking than you are. So
am I the first female on the
You are. Oh,
podcast?
Yeah. Sarah, the first female on the Retay Roundtable podcast.
I'll take it.
So, I'm glad you said that. We did that this week. In 2 weeks, I have another lady.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
So she is she's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. No, being a female in this industry can be a little tough sometimes. You got to have a thicker skin.
Look, we got all the time in the world. You've got to tell us a little bit, because that is a high-paced work environment.
It is,
right?
But the best thing, and David touched on this a little bit before, working for Chicky and Nikki, they're very family-oriented. Yes. They treat me like family. I have 2 young children, so they push me to work, but they also understand when my kid is sick.
Absolutely.
Or, my kids this year have been, I don't have childcare in the summer. So I was working, they're in the background yelling and screaming on the phone and stuff. But they're so understanding of that. And sometimes, I'm sending emails at 4 a.m. or at 10 o'clock at night is when I'm able to do work. And they allow me, they allow me to do that. They're flexible. And that's what's great about working there is like they really... Yeah. They understand, and it works out.
I give all the credit in the world to my wife. She deals with me, number one, but she also is one of the best moms I know. You as well, doing what you do.
Thank you.
Being a mom, being a wife, being being the person that Nick and Chick get to go to for all their crazy ideas.
Yes.
It has to be hard, so we congratulate you for doing an awesome job.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Appreciate that.
Jeff?
I was just going to say, also for the anniversary weekend, Dennis and Billy will be there, right?
Dennis and Billy, yeah.
Yep,
so we got to get them out of wherever they're going to be at. We're going to fly them in. They're going to be here on Thursday night, ready to go on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
They were super nice.
They
guys.
are. If you get
really
a chance,
enjoyed
and there's a particular young guy, and I got to reach back out to him this year because he showed up on Sunday. Dennis and Billy had some scheduling arrangements and some family things they had to get back to on Sunday evening. They left out Saturday night, right? And really early Sunday morning. They will be there, and I will make sure of it. We will not leave until you get to, and I'm telling you, I can't remember this guy's name.
Oh, we'll have to figure that out.
But I think through Instagram, I had some messages with them, so we're going to make sure that they get down to see those boys.
Yeah.
But they're a good time. They're and one of the things about Dennis and Billy, what you see is what you get. there is no show with them. They're exactly the same people. They're good, humble guys, and they love to talk hunting. And they're going to tell you, the stories for those guys are hours and hours long. And they sat there last year and enjoyed it, and actually contacted us about coming back this year because they wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, Billy and I talked like a lot about our kids and stuff because I was pregnant last year at the anniversary sale. So it was. But
Billy's the one that'll get you though, because you look at Billy and you're like, okay, he's got kids that are as old as me.
Yes, he does. Yeah,
he's got so his oldest, I think, 27 and 25.
Yeah, and he gives great parenting advice for us that are just starting out. So if you don't have kids, let me tell you, it's hard. So it's harder than hunting.
Absolutely, but no, I appreciate you guys.
No,
thank you, Jesse.
We're humbled to have everybody that comes on this
Retay.
because we appreciate it very much. We love you guys, and we wouldn't be honestly here without you. So we thank you all for that.
September 1st. November.
Then Black Friday. Then Christmas.
Yeah.
So
or anytime. We love to have you anytime, honestly.
Absolutely.
Molly's is very welcoming.
Yep.
So.
And by the way, go check out the Chef Paul's burger now.
Yeah, man.
The name.
Yeah.
PITBOSS burger.
PITBOSS burger.
Yeah, PITBOSS burger.
PITBOSS burger.
He does fresh jalapenos that he puts in tequila.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, man.
They're hot. Man. They're a little sweet, but it's got the heat, too.
Okay.
They're on there.
Maybe we can mix one of those into an oyster shooter.
That sounds delicious. Should I line up oyster shooters for the anniversary? So not quite the season, but
Karen and I try to reproduce Chef Paul in the house, and like I'll say this: you have to heat the tequila up to get the alcohol off, and it is very flammable. That's all. Okay. You got to be very careful.
Good note from the PITBOSS there. Don't burn your house down.
Just be careful with
your tequila.
With tequila on the stove.
David from Molly's, the PITBOSS, Sara from Molly's. Thank you all for coming in. Jim Caesar, take us out of here.
Raised in the South, I come up from nothing, I figured it out. They say when I sing, I'm the voice of the South. Give thanks to the Lord, cause I'm making it out. I can't believe I'm living my dream. Early morning flights, the skies are filled up with these whistling wings. Sights that dreams are made of. Look at God's creation. Dust coming in as we struggle to load. Kid number 2 is a hell of a load. Shots going off as they dropping the hood. It's so cold and my call keeps sticking. I'm being precise with the notes I'm picking. My lead is true, so no duck I'm missing. Foot choke, so I'm good at a distance. I should have retake. I should have retake. I should have retake. I should have retake. Brush up the blind, ain't wasting no time, yeah, we gotta grind. Get in the trees and bring a few digs and pass it to me. Ain't no Beyonce, but these ducks in formation. This ain't no heist, but I swear green's what we chasing. Hey, you ever drove a boat in the morning? Can't think, can't see, can't breathe, cause the cold and it's far. 2 strokes and farthest. Start up your engine, get ready to party. It's a dangerous run to the hole. You know where I'm from, so you know how it goes. 25 Mercs and 25 Zooks. Outboard spit smokes when it's cold. This is a timber run, something like timber run. Dodging these logging these trees. Running so fast like we racing for cash in the water. So cold and it's starting to freeze. Could you believe the sight that you see with your eyes when the mallet descend through the trees? My soul is at peace. I get so high when the ducks start to fly. I can see what the angel could see. Please do not blame it on me. The ducks don't permit, then we rearranging the digs. Come on, let's turn up the heat. They still ain't committed, then we got emotion to digs. Block swinging left, block swinging right, but keep him in sight. And if we not doing it right, no second chance, and we just might ruin the flight. We kicking water, ducks dropping harder, tell them kick hard. One hen gave in, but still got 10. Working circle, got me nervous. Ain't no stress, we on the X. Watch them banking, swerving, curving. We gotta finish these ducks, they coming in. Watch them run straight out of luck. I'm yelling, take them guns, I'm blazing. 1 + 10 came in, amen. That's a whole lot of mallards. Now one left out, we screaming, shout. 1 shot before man limit, I won't forget it, yeah. Now we headed back to the ramp. Ducks in the bow of the boat. Chest sticking out like a champ. Chest sticking out like a champ. Raised in the South, I come up from nothing, I figured it out. They say when I sing, I'm the voice of the South. Give thanks to the Lord, cause I'm making it out. I can't believe I'm living my dream. Early morning flights, the skies are filled up with these whistling wings.